Hello, my name is Skyler and I am a senior at Lynn University who is currently interning at the Committee for Free and Fair Elections in Cambodia, which is a Phnom Penh-based non-governmental organization that monitors democratic institutions within the country, including government, media, and elections. I arrived at a special time because on July 28th the country held its 5th national elections, in which millions of people fled to the polls, in hope that for the first time the elections would be free and fair. COMFREL's main job was to monitor all the polling stations and to make sure that no irregularities took place that could jeopardize the result of the election. Unfortunately, as is the tendency in this country, it was not free and fair, and COMFREL has to assess all the irregularities and violations that occur, so as to report to the international community, among others within the country, as to what happened this year and how to improve upon it in the future. I will take you through my experience along with each level at COMFREL and what each unit does. I arrived in Cambodia 3 weeks before the election and was thrown into the fire early as an observer. COMFREL staff and I monitored the emotional arrival of opposition leader Sam Rainsy, who had just returned to Cambodia after 4 years of political exile. COMFREL's team and I were charged with ensuring that no violations took place that could include violence, intimidation by the authorities, or any other misconduct by either political party. Luckily, it went without incident, even with close to 100,000 people in attendance. The election mainly involved Prime Minister Hun Sen and his ruling Cambodia People's Party, who had been in power for the better part of the last 30 years, and the opposition Cambodian National Rescue Party, which aimed to end decades of corruption, intimidation, and inequality. My job was simply to document and report on what was going to occur before, during, and after the election. Back at COMFREL's office, I was placed in the monitoring unit, which focused on reporting what state-controlled media announced. They note every day how balanced or biased a station is towards the ruling party or the opposition. I was assigned to a team that would take documents in Khmer and translate it into English. Because Khmer has an opposite sentence structure than English, it was a challenge to word the statement correctly in order to appeal to native English speakers. I also produced reports and articles that were posted on COMFREL's English website. There was tension in the air as we prepared for a possibly historic election on the 28th of July. I settled in pretty quickly at COMFREL's office and worked a full-time schedule with 40+ hours a week, with a great group of employees around me. COMFREL is a very complex organization, and I will attempt to explain to you via interviews what it's about.
My name is Moy Hoa. I work at COMFREL as monitoring officer. The mission of COMFREL is to improve transparency for Cambodian election by educate Cambodian people to understand how to vote and understand the benefit of voting.
My name is On Sumnang. I am a report writer. The roles I play here is collecting the information from all of COMFREL units. COMFREL have 5 units conducting the project. So based on the project, so I have to compile the report from those units and send to donors according to their schedule, and enhancing the report writing capacity of each unit report writing members.
My name is Sri Supya. Position that I hold in COMFREL, I work closely with the media tool for including website, official website of COMFREL and other social media like Facebook, Twitter, and manage and oversight them. I also manage the radio schedule, and we have a daily radio show, The Voice of Civil Society.
COMFREL does have a radio network with a show called Cambodian Voter Voice, which shows 6 days a week and talks about political issues in the country. In addition, all units in Comfrel work together to compile a report on different topics within the political spectrum in Cambodia, in both English and Khmer. I was a part of some of that process with reports that will be released later in the year.
My name is Sun Yut Chia. I work for Committee for Free and Fair Election almost 5 years. And my position is a legal and advocacy officer. I am in the advocacy unit and also help the gender and education unit as well in some technical work. Yeah, what we do here, basic work of our unit is to educate people to understand their right to vote, to understand the freedom, the fundamental freedom that has set forth in both international instrument and the local law. Yeah, we want them to aware that being a human, they have the right to anything unless there's no law ban on it. Yeah, that's the most basic work we're doing. Right now we are on monitoring about the compliance process from NEC to the Constitutional Council, which is the last body that going to hear about the electoral related complaint. Yeah, we're monitoring on that.
Election weekend had finally arrived. Comfrel hosted a forum with other civil society organizations and called it the Situation Room. A panel of NGO directors would field questions from citizens and media alike as the numbers and reports came in from the vote. I was tasked with taking notes summarizing each proceeding and assisted in writing press statements given by the Situation Room to the public. As thousands of reports of irregularities were observed by our staff in the field, I helped collect the data as we waited for a result. The country thought there might be violence should the ruling party lose the election. Luckily, it ran incredibly smooth, except for one incident in Phnom Penh, where angry voters who had their names removed from the voter list for no reason burned 2 police vehicles. Calm was restored in the country as Comfrel unofficially announced that for the 4th election in a row, Prime Minister Hun Sen and the ruling party had won, but with mass fraud and violations occurring. We worked throughout the night, as I mostly helped translate documents for the website announcements. The election results have been rejected by the opposition and most of the democratic international community. Comfrel is at the center of compiling reports and data to show the United Nations and others within Cambodia how many irregularities took place during the election. Comfrel will peacefully report their findings, but it is up to the Cambodian people to make the changes in the future. The job is far from done, and there is much more work for Comfrel to reach its objectives. I learned an incredible amount during my 3 months at Comfrel, and while experiencing an election in a country that is silently oppressed is a unique experience in its own, it was the people around me that I worked with who made this a highlight of my life. I don't think I've ever been around such a down-to-earth corporate culture. It is important for those who work at Comfrel to know that while results are hard to see right now, it will make a difference for the future of the country someday.
So show me family, for the blood that I will bleed.